moi, me, manifold personalities? No, it cannot be. I am a Baroque, saccharine, and statuesque lady-in-waiting. I hold a majestic tempo within my beat. Maiden of Poseidon, I allowed you to be free. You play in my sands as our hearts crescendo synonymously to the song sung by the old ones. I connect to you in all of resonance. How numbered is your kind, abundantly, great like my freckles that your toes wiggle in effortlessly. Allegro cries on the sunny isles in the plague of innocence. I bring adagio smiles to 1,000,000 miles as the world collectively wades in my crevices. I like to have fun as the sun and moon duets and tunes that harmonize with my attitudes. A constant argument with Mother Earth. The rebirth of life is consistent to what we bring to concert. At dawn, she dictates the two to procreate, precipitate, and dusk comes to play. As Mother Earth falls asleep, arpeggio, the capo, pleases me, bringing life to the essence of my virginity. Good morning to you all, a cappella, my voice welcomes thee. My waves sing songs of joy and toy with the emotions of my company. You, I feel your amazing love, care, and hope in the warmth of your bodies at different intervals. My children swarm around your feet like a hive of bees, intuitive and bigoted at sea, internal. But watch out for all the smothering. I will approach thee pianissimo, then pounce upon your front like a lion and attack fortissimo, brio and feroce. With the never-ending theme, though I seem content with my enemies, my tale of history calls upon the voices of tragedy. I once believed in happily ever after, and I have been here since the beginning of time. But when you evolved out of my uterus, my life began as the creator of Optimus Prime. A conductor of this is a conductor of death. I shamed at you and brought storms, hurricanes, tsunamis, and the sound of sirens to become a massive threat. Your gratitude towards me is sarcastically accepted. But stormy nights, when the ship's bilge isn't right, and my jealousy is overburdened with pride, with love and hate set aside on the same plate. Now I am sick, filled with your old inventions, like a dragon for me to slay. Life as it was came to a state of pesante. Disaster continuous to create with arrogance. Concerto is all it takes to bring Mother Earth conjoined with her first child. Because unity is all we need to collide, and peace will come. Encore.
The rhythm of the sea, the pattern in the sound, the azure sky sets the joyful mood for the songs of the sapphire waves as they crash on the sand. The creatures of the deep dance around to the optimistic song. The shells shift to the shore to ride the waves to start a new adventure. Coconuts hit the ground, one after another, after another, after another, adding a new beat. The sun burns the sand, making it feel as if you're walking on hot coals. Umbrellas pop up, chairs are out, people have joined the waves and their beautiful song. Also different, yet they match so perfectly to make a symphony. The rain begins to fall, lightly tapping the sand. People run to their cars as the rain hits harder, leaving no footprints behind. The waves fill the footprints, leaving no trace. As the song slows down, it gets quieter, fading every second. The sun goes down, the waves stop, crashing, and they wait for the next day to hear the song of the sea.
There are rainbows in the splashing of seawater. The rough and soft movements of sudden peace takes me down under this shallow bay, and I become a sea current that cleans the seaweeds that are dirty. And what do you know? As the current of the sea, as salty as a sea current might be, I become an element of the mass, and I am free, and I am everywhere, even in the rainbows that form in the splashing. You see, Biscayne Bay and me are one. And 100 years from now, they'll say, he was last seen walking alone with her, not fearing her danger. Now the sun from tower to tower, the hammers, he would say to her, flirting and walking with Biscayne Bay, and she would listen. Because yesterday, in my verse, I heard the clapping of your bony palms, and you gave eyes to my song and an edge to my tragic life. I will sing to you the flesh you don't have, your missing eyes, the red lips that used to get kisses. Today, from here forth, my sweetness, Biscayne Bay of mine. Oh, how good with you alone, with these blowing winds of Biscayne, my Biscayne. But I gotta go back to Manhattan. I must revisit Manhattan soon. The Brooklyn Bridge awaits. The sound and smoke of the passing cars below me, under me. I must go. I love you, and although I don't recall ever meeting you, my parents, they swear that when I was just 3, I crawled on over through you and into Brooklyn. I went crying. I must revisit Manhattan soon. And from Brooklyn to Manhattan, I'm going to walk on the Brooklyn Bridge and put all of those myths to a test and see if it's true that whenever you're walking through the middle towers, Something bigger than you takes over your mind, and you feel like writing the best rhymes. I must revisit Manhattan soon. The Brooklyn Bridge awaits.
Like an excited child exploring a cave, like the dubstep that makes us dance, like the leather of our jacket, like the lyrics of a rap song, like the love of a love movie, like the beat of a hip-hop song. All these things are compared to music. Just make it your own. Music really is universal. It's what ties us together and tears us apart. It's like the energy of a 3-year-old, like the momentum of a speeding roller coaster going downhill, like the waves in the ocean, like the lightning in a storm, like a tempo getting faster and faster. All these things are compared to music. We listen to music every day in our lives. So much variety, so many different types of beats. Music really is universal.
Well, let's talk about density. What if you had equal volumes of fresh water and salty water? Fresh water and salty water. The salt adds weight to the water. Water.
A song with no words is like toes without feet, a cappella with no beat, a piano with no keys, and high with no B's, and ask with no please. Or a song with no words can be as smooth as jazz, as clear as glass, optional like advice, and risky like dice. So a song with no words can be a broadband communication or a music sensation. But either way, there's no limitation.
Very important in determining a lot of physical and biological properties in the ocean. So what have we learned from this little demonstration?
A poem by Chaim Plutzik. Like successive layers of leaf that dwindle the sunlight are the overlapping cumulative shadows projected by things, which huddle in them darkly within the greater shadow. Suffering. Breaching the shores of matter, a swell of shadows destroys all sanctions of foremost separateness. And objects, transposed of vesture, take doubtful values like hawks vaguely discerned under the tides. What inner or outer flames may shine are random in the one. Shadowed sea where all things melt, while through all, the superior dark, the subjective night, encloses and bathes the universe.
Compa. Just a little catchy to everything. From small to big, or tap to stomp, it can make your heart pump. Every beat is special if you know the right time. But don't make it too special, you'll get it out of line. It's not easy, like an orange to peel. Music is the real deal. Compass is my homeboy. It's really cool. Come on and step to the beat. Just don't drool. Compass is steady, but it's not slow. It's kind of fast, just don't blow. Compass.
There is a beat being created. It's the form of gunshot wounds being pounded into the teenagers in our streets. Rhythm of apprehension. The choirs are singing and mothers are wailing within the same gloomy sorrow. You feel that boom? You hear that bass? You feel that pound? Was that your child or your sibling? You call this life? You call this a living? Are you proud of your actions? Is this determined cool? What if that same bullet blazed you? You feel that fire. Boom, boom, boom. The cries of each family are reaching a crescendo. If you're trying to make a point, do so without the beat. Tell us a cappella, make it clear enough to see. Fantasía de Tres Mundos, in dedication to Richard Harmon, in dedication to Marlon Eason, in dedication to Lourdes Guzman de Jesus.
We found young girls with swan necks, craned into cleft notes, broken by the bars of the river. How do you piece back a bone like a flute? Plug the holes of your skin to a pulse that is quick-tempered as river. How do you care for a swan? We ran to prayer, tick eyes swollen black, never returned to their shoulder blades, shaved into half notes on the bank of the river. How can broken wings still conduct the wind when each feather hangs stiff and sweat like a dead man, his feet curved inward like wax tusk, disordered in black river? How many songs can be dredged out of bone? Well, naked maidens still sing of lost coats, skulls of hardened milk, panels of swanskin scrubbed gray in the river. How many degrees paler can you go below dead? Maybe they too can return and swim off the red colors in the river.
for what? Turn down for Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn
down the volume, please. Because my people, the minorities, are finding it hard to be society. Turn down the volume, please. Your song implies that being black, gay, or a woman is a disgraceful thing. Since when? Turn down the volume, please, society. I am tired of seeing my people dodging your melodic madness. Oh, how sad it is that your pitch is off key. The irony, you seemed as perfect as Fantasia de Tres Mundos. Turn down the volume, please, I beg. Our minds polluted by the very penetrations of your putrid vibrations, fragranced with a fermata of lies that has resulted in my people's self-hatred. Turn down the volume, please, TV, the news, social media. A task is it to breathe when your dissonance is choking our very tune. Throughout history, your voice has brought my people to shame, leaving us with a verse titled Unsung. Turn down the volume, please, please.
You and I are somewhat like a beat and a tune, so different but melodic together. And you are the beat. I want to wake up to your sound every day, bask in the vibration of your bass, and feel it radiate through me. And you are harmonious. You arise every day to provide the plant with warmth and unity, and I adore that. This temple of yours burns like glittering stars, and I admire that. You are just fine by yourself, but now I want us to be one. Don't elude me, because we are meant to be together. Because I'm something like the tune. I am that hum that enlightens the earth and serves as a companion for all souls. But when I'm climbing up to heaven and I'm being crooned by the gods, I realize I unify the whole world too, but see, I can't do it alone. The world wants to hear our cadence, and I can't wait for the moment we touch and the sky shines gold with our song. One day, while cruising the universe, we will meet, because I like to think of the beat and tune as lovers, hypnotic, passionate equally, but beautiful together. But there's a time they do catch up and they kiss, and the world stares in awe of their music.
The clouds clench rain to their pasty skin, hoarding precipitation away from the periwinkle horizon. Like a tenuto, until their extended bellies stretch against the bar line and droplets slip into a glissando down to the barren earth. The marble membranes adorning each water bead blossoms into a vibrato, rippling upon contact as they shatter onto concrete. Wisps of sky still cling to the tears like dust mites caught in the crevices of a fingernail, dressing the ground with beaded cobwebs. But as they are scooped up again by hesitant whole notes and held in the crooked arms of sunbeams, they learn to fly again as ashy brushstrokes.
Drum of my heart matches the melodic harmony of the music. My heart feels trapped behind the accelerando of the tempo. Forte, she screams, forte. The sounds beat in my ears until the outside world becomes a lyrical blur. Music is a hallucinogenic. I begin to lucidly dream as the music plays. The memories become an out-of-body experience. It makes me think. I become a lonely person. I become depressed. Music calms me like the sound of soft waves crashing against the soles of my feet. Words have so much meaning. I become an angry person, and the music becomes nostalgic. Even though I hurt, the music is uplifting. It sings me to sleep where life is better. Whenever I feel alone, I put on my headphones so I can escape to my world filled with words where the rhythm of my soul sways to the melody that understands. Down this long, winding road of songs I dare call life, music is the only sane recollection of my mind I have left, because when I am gone and my bones dissolve into ashes for heavens to take, and my face has long since been forgotten, I will live on, because the words I write here will live on. They will live in your hearts forever. This is a ballad of my life.
Red bumps, peeling lumps, looking in the mirror with a severe case of the grumps, popping these creatures in a rhythm like a singer whose voice is gone, and it really hits him. Feeling ashamed, always wanting to hide, having a playlist of zits on my face, constantly making me cry. Am I still pretty? Or are you gonna let my appearance define me? Wanting to be a soul singer and pour my heart out, but no one will care, so I'll stay here and pout. Insecurities suck. Being bashed because of something I can't change, not even with big bucks. I hate making eye contact. All you see is my acne. That's a fact. Am I still pretty? Or is me telling you how I feel an annoying melody? Will I not have a prom night because my skin isn't clear and pearly? The thought of that makes me worry. Look at my beauty, inside and out, even if I constantly break out.
So here I am, outside my house, catching some fresh air. And right before my very eyes, quietly, silently, 1,000 flowers are blooming all around me. I run back inside the house and even the floor is blooming. It's all unusual, new, tender. I give her a kiss and a hug, hello, and above her head, in the glass sky, the moon hangs blue and fragrant, as if hanging from some invisible branch. I point at the moon and say, look, our moon. She looks at the moon and smiles, and then she looks at me and I smile, melting inside. I'm in my room, she's sitting on my bed, I'm on the floor, my arms are around her legs, my head in her lap, and we're both quiet. Silence. I can hear my pulse. I feel that everything that defines me in space is melting, vanishing. I'm a crystal dissolving in her lap. I'm getting smaller, larger, wider, off the scale because she's no longer herself. She's the whole universe. And for 1 second, her and my bed and the floor and the blooming flowers of our love shot through the sky and hit the moon with joy. We are one. All that is in me, with me, listening to the beating of my pulse and flying across the blessed second. I tried to tell her in stupid, confused, drowned words that I am a crystal and that is why the door is in me and that's why I can hear how happy the chair is, but such nonsense comes out and I stop talking. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. So I tell her, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm talking such nonsense. And then she tells me, Oscar, what makes you think nonsense is bad? If they nurtured and cared for human nonsense the way they did with intelligence throughout the ages, then nonsense would be something of special value. And for nonsense alone, Oscar, for what you did yesterday at the bay, I love you even more. She took my face, all of me, between her palms. She lifted my head up, sweet, sharp, white teeth, and then another smile. In the open space of my room, she was like a bee. She had both honey and a sting. There's a stupid smile in my face. I look into her eyes, now one, now the other, seeing myself in each. I'm tiny, minuscule, locked inside her talking eyes. And then more bees, lips, all the sweet pain of blooming.
me some.
A utopia for miscellaneous thoughts and ideas. Miami is like a revolving door, gliding into the grandiose crescendo of a world full of possibilities. The thumping bass of African drums vibrates in harmony with the beat of our hearts, rousing sleepless nights which catalyze into a flux of revolutionary ideas, inspiring greatness and encouraging potential. Nights in this city are legendary. The deep vibrato of waves crashing against rocky shores serenades our ears and pays tribute to the metropolis, which is sizzling with possibility, driven by passion, and a hunting ground for industries feeding off the originality that cloaks Miami like a second skin, seeking accompaniment in a sea of ballads lacking a certain je ne sais quoi. People flock to the harbors, driven by an instinct arising from the uncharted jungle in the depth of their souls. Beneath the city of opportunity lies a coffin with the decaying carcasses of what we used to be. Culture cultivated closely within the tight confines of Miami's own personal rhapsody, blanketing racial statements over this $1 million sandbar the way a treble clef clings onto its staff, singing anthems derived from the psalms of an ignorant man's slurs and paying homage to the gun clasped tightly in the clammy hands of a kid raised on hate. An elegy to lament the youthful innocence ripped away through initiation into a world founded on violence, preying on the unsullied heartstrings of children in a dynamic ensemble of fabricated statements, and buried to the neck in the debt brought about by repugnant lies passed through word of poisoned mouth. The homeless slid from car to car the way a musician weaves her fingers from string to string in a perfect glissando, crying out cadences between intervals of hopelessness. Our streets were littered in abandoned dreams and aspirations, like the men and women who drove Mercedes but couldn't even afford their own mortgages. We were born from a bed of lies, cloaked in negligence, and showered in money tarnished with blood and grime. Yet when we rose from the ruin, the skies parted, heaven shined, and a symphony of trumpets sounded, awakening a generation of men and women who would inspire greatness in us all.
I've never really been a fan of botany. Maybe it's the way the grass makes me itch, decrescendo, or maybe because no matter how far I reach my hands up, they will never be able to connect the way the trees do the sky, crescendo. It's disappointing to watch the way my fingers reach out monotonously because I can already feel the personal failure of opening up my hands to the world, hoping and expecting for gifts filled with more than just air and empty space, white noise. Somehow, I know that even if I stand taller, outstretch my limbs just a little bit more, adagio, the world will fail me. Because unlike the trees, I am not a giant. I can be uprooted and tossed away, to tumble down into an obliviousness, much like the way raindrops run off into the vastness of the sea. allegro, only to be extracted again, made to stand up and face obstacles I can never withstand. I am not a giant. I am only me, the only me I can never quite possibly be without ever risking the genuineness of my personality. Yes, I can be uprooted, largo, and the footsteps that I leave behind may never, ever be able to fill those of others who have accomplished more, who have reached more, who have been there and reached the sky and beheld the stars in their eyes and the moon in their arms. Fallen leaves may cover my footsteps, and one day I myself may become a distant memory in the past, but I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm not alone in my effort of climbing on the backs of giants to reach the sky. And I'm not afraid. And reach the sky, and be lifted into the sky and be one with galaxies. Cadenza.
You got an organ going there. No wonder the sound has so much body.
and gentlemen, the one and only Carlene Sawyer, Piano Slam Director, make some noise!
Ladies and gentlemen, the artists of Piano Slam! First of all, what fantastic pianists we had tonight. Thank you for coming all the way from Germany. Duo IMPULS, Barbara and Sebastian. Bartmann, yes! You never knew this could happen to classical musicians, right? Well, part of the reason of that, because they have the beats of DJ Brimstone! And, of course, tonight we're about poetry as well. So we had the wonderful verses of Oscar Fuentes, our poet. Oscar! What a beautiful evening this was. It bounced, it beat all over the stage. Great dancers, great choreography. Hattie Mae Williams and her dancer, NYISA, Shakira, and Just Josh! You know, a program like Piano Slam puts a lot of people together, but people at a very, very high level who work very hard to make this happen. And those people include Mr. Rudy Goblin, our assistant director. Out in the house, who made this fantastic music and everything to come together, our music director and artistic director, Mr. Eric Oxner. I have to say, every minute on this stage, I'll put together very beautifully by our stage manager, Miss Karen Currington. Karen, up in the booth! You know, this evening was about music. Every happening, every concert has to have a maestro. The maestro of Piano Slam, Mr. Teo Castellanos! I really want to thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you know what Piano Slam means to all of us at the Dranoff 2 Piano, and I think means to this entire community. This is a project that takes an entire year, playing classical music in schools, from Homestead to Carroll City, from Hialeah to the beaches. And you know, when we go to all these schools and play this music, everywhere we go these beautiful, huge, fantastic Steinway pianos. And we have to thank Steinway for dragging these pianos into these amazing schools. So please, thank you. From day one of Piano Slam, the Adrienne Arsht Center for the Performing Arts has been the most generous and amazing partner. Look at where we are, the Night Concert Hall, and every one of these professional artists and these young artists, they worked so hard all year to get right here on this stage. So I want to thank. And what a beautiful, beautiful performance it is. And that was put together here quite finely by the technical team here at the Arsht, led by Janice Lane. So thank you very, very much. You know, this is a project about music, and Dranoff 2 Piano is about music. But what you heard tonight, what you heard were words, were poetry. And you probably know, and certainly everybody up here knows, because they've been working every single day in the month of April, from April Fools to April 30th, because this is National Poetry Month. And we've had the fantastic opportunity for a wonderful partnership with the Poetry Festival here in Miami. Oh, Miami. I'd like to thank Oh, Miami. I'd like to thank them for presenting Piano Slam. Yes! I particularly would like to thank Scott Cunningham for his vision and agreeing with us that everyone in this town should have a poem that they can hear, say, or have be part of their hearts. So I suppose that what you're waiting for, because this is a competition, is to hear who is the winner. Who are the winners tonight of Piano Slam? Who are the winners of Piano Slam tonight? Well, let me tell you. You've met all these wonderful professional artists. Let me introduce to you all the winners of Piano Slam this evening. So, Miss Natalie Atenor. The woman with the beautiful voice that we got to hear a cappella this evening, Miss Kay Ann Henry. Alice Davis. DAISHA Johnson. Wow. Sarah Harder. KAITLYN Ballesteros. KAITLYN, look at all these people here. One of the great dancers of the evening, Mr. Kevin Hernandez! Nicole Bowens! Victoria Estopinan. All right. I just have to say one thing before I introduce the next artist. Go Red Raiders! Chelsea Arwanigan! Mr. Compa himself, Acer Brignol. Catherine VALDEZ. Hill. And last but not least, with the bravery that only a beautiful woman can have, Ashley Wise. So I want to thank all of you this evening, but all of the young people that I've introduced to you are from Miami-Dade Public Schools, and they have been just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful partner with us this year. I have to tell you how much I admire and thank Superintendent Carvalho for his generosity and his support of the arts in the schools. And in particular, I want to thank Mr. Christian Carranza for insisting that the sciences and STEM be part of Piano Slam. And this year, as you may have seen, all the beautiful water that surrounds us here in Miami, I'd like to thank the Carthay Project at the Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences for bringing science into the schools with poetry. So now, the winners. And what a great role model the winners in this Piano Slam have. A great partner, great role models, really the coolest sponsor that anybody could have, our very own winning Miami Heat! So, that's thank you. And now, after all of this beautiful work, after all of the love, the words, and all about the music, the winners of this year's Piano Slam are, in language arts for middle school, from Myrtle Grove, K through 8, Adrianna Hill. From middle school in STEM, from Miami Arts Charter, KAITLYN Ballesteros.
Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the scratch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi.
And now for high school. Ooh, and now for high school. For English, language arts, from Hialeah, Miami Lakes, Victoria. And one more. There's one more prize. For science in high school, put your fingers in your ears, from Norland Senior High School, Homestead Davis!
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody
one more thing.
And they stay there.
Thank you for being here. And I gotta tell you one more thing. Thank you, and get ready for Piano Slam
This here, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. White gold, white gold, white gold. This here, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. White gold, white gold, white gold, white gold, white gold, white gold. Don't believe me, just watch. This here, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold, that white gold, white gold. This here, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold, 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 white gold. This here, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wilding, living it up in the city. Got chunks on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too high. Call the police and the fireman, I'm too high.